Let's have a conversation.
What's up, y'all? It's Monday. Let's have a conversation. I didn't really think my conversation this morning would be about America, but I always go off of whatever I watched last before I went to bed and whatever I see in the morning when I wake up. And I thought there would be more Blue and Jared stuff. I thought there would be more Izzy Spirals, Cameron on his high horse. I thought there would be more Felicia pressing somebody, Cerise strategy. I mean, little bits and pieces of all that stuff did happen, I believe. But the thing that the feeds were focused on the most and what got the most airtime was this Corey and America, this Comerica situation, as they've been calling it. To be honest with you guys, it was a little weird to me. It's a little weird to me. So they went on this dinner. Mimi, as we know, finished in third place in the cooker competition, and she chose the two mamas and America to take on this dinner. They didn't show the dinner. I guess they're probably going to show at least part of the dinner. They're probably going to show on the Wednesday episode, whatever they choose to show us, because they didn't show anything on the feeds. They just showed them getting dressed up. Then they just weren't in the house, or they just weren't in the main area. I don't know where they ended up going. And then they came back. So when they came back, she came and found Corey, and Corey made one of his quirky jokes. He said something like, schedule, I'll check my schedule or something, a Corey thing to say. So he was like, oh, like, want to go upstairs? And they just left everybody right away, the two of them. So I don't know. I guess typically looking at somebody who's that excited to see somebody they like and they're jumping to get them upstairs away from everybody, you think something's going down. So I was watching with intrigue. I'm like, oh, something might actually happen tonight, right? So they go up. She wants something to happen. She's clearly had a few. She clearly had a few at dinner, and she was putting the press on this man. She laid on top of him. There was things going on under the blanket to where he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, America! I told you I'm gonna put my boundaries up. You're doing too much. I'm not doing this on camera." Kept saying it. Not doing this on camera. She kept throwing in little jabs at him. It's like, do you know what you're doing? And then he would say, I bet you if you offered this same thing to Cam, you wouldn't see him for a day. And she's like, yep. And he's like, I bet you if you offered the same thing to Jag would take the offer. And she's like, yep, he would. So she was kind of, she, I thought this was going to be short lived. Like she was just going to ask him a few times and then she was going to stop. But no, I think I had the feed on for more than an hour of this, more than an hour of her just shifting positions under the blanket, moving his hands around to certain spots. And he was just like, no, no, no. At a certain point, Izzy ran by the room and threw a box of condoms on the floor. And then they didn't see the condoms. They saw the door open, but they didn't see that until they were about to leave. And then they came down and they joined the rest of the group. The group was making fun of him. Oh, Corey. Ooh, I see you. I see you, Corey. Now, what I have to say about America and Corey, I know people have said they're cute, they're sweet, all of that stuff. I know the cameras are a factor, I'm sure, because he keeps saying that. Like, I predetermined that I'm not going to be in a showmance or at least not on camera. And he keeps telling her, well, you know, if we get to the jury house, you could do this in the jury house, the jury house. Well, one, I don't know if America is actually his speed. And I think that is the best application or the best way that I can phrase it. I don't know if America is his speed generally. I don't know if it's a thing where if when they get out of the house, she would still have that same interest. No disrespect to him, just observation of how she seems to be and how he is. He is take it slow, get to know you type of guy, it seems like. Possibly inexperienced, and she's not. And she's not a take it slow type of person, as we can see. Um, and she's made certain comments too. Like, for instance, when Izzy was asking her, do you have a crush on him? And she was saying, yeah, I think I do. You know, Corey's cute and I like him, but it's also the house. She has actually said that. She's kind of said it's also at Matt. They were not particularly interested in that, and there wasn't any other option left. So there was Corey. So there's that. But the other thing that I wanted to say bad for his game because I've noticed she's and he likes it, but he also seems to find it distracting. And I don't think he wanted the distraction going in. So he would love to be in kind of a, I want to say like a Derek X and Hannah position where, yes, they talk, they cuddle, they flirt, but they both have a boundary of we are definitely not going to do anything pre going into the jury house. Like this is we have a standing agreement because that's what Hannah said in one of her interviews. I don't think it was her interview with me, but I think I heard in another interview that she did around the time of her show, her season of the show, that she and Derek X were like-minded in a sense that they were never going to explore whatever they might have had while they were in the house. So America's not on that. America wants it all. She's a super fan. She wants to try to win the game. She wants to try to get the showmance. She wants to do it all. And these engagements between them are so awkward. I mean, if he likes it, I love it. But visually watching them are so awkward. And not awkward just in the sense of him being awkward, but awkward in the sense of the type of press she's on him. It's heavy, heavy press. You know, I said this in the comments yesterday. If this was a guy doing this to a female, sheesh, this guy would be X'd out by now by the community. Showmance puts a huge target on your back. Surprise, America's forcing this. Yeah. Like, target one of you, or they're gonna put you on the block together. Because they always say they will put the other person on it's they be and to be removed from the house. They'd be tagging up CBS. But all I'm seeing is everybody on in the comments and in the Twitterverse and Reddit and all that being like, this was so cute. And I'm like, I don't know. Were y'all watching what I was watching? Because I saw a guy that kept saying no, and it's like a female that was just okay. Now I'm gonna get on top of him, and now I'm gonna put my hands in places y'all can't see, and his voice is raising some octaves. No, America, no. And I'm after a while, I was like, this is a kind of uncomfortable to watch, actually, because when I turned it on for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I was like, okay. I said, okay, Corey. But then after I realized he wasn't trying to do that, I was like, oh. So he told her that he just wants to lay down and talk. And she's trying aggressively for something else. Then I was like, this is a bit much, to say the least. This is a bit much. I wondered if maybe just the psychology background. I don't know, but I wondered to myself if she's gonna regret all of that in the morning when she wakes up. Like, what was I doing? And I wonder if he's gonna feel like, as much as I like this girl, I have to reset my boundaries because I was not feeling. Because he was clearly, it's he was clearly telling her, I already spoke to you about this beforehand. They had had this conversation in some prior time where he told her, I'm not doing this on TV. It's not quick. America is forcing this. He doesn't want to do anything because he knows he's on the show. Not only is America a girl, but also she's white. Taylor was getting backlash last year for her relationship with Monty. Oh yeah, in there's definitely not equity in those situations, clearly. There is clearly not equity because could you imagine, right? If there was somebody in the house, let's say it was Joseph. Taylor likes Joseph and they get in bed one night and he says, I just want to cuddle with you. And Taylor is like, are you sure? Sure you just want to cuddle? She's getting on top of him and you know what they would call her. You know what they would be calling her. You already know the type of treatment she would get for being in that exact same position. So that kind of goes without saying. But it's tough because he latched himself onto her in the game. Back to Corey in America. He latched himself on her in the game. He made a final two with her. And she's not nearly as focused as she needs to be. I know she's a super fan and I know she loves the show, but she's really go with the flow with it. She's not really all those things that he's frustrated about with her game wise. He's not wrong about that. like the things about her not really picking a path, and the things about, not really having a true alliance and not really thinking about those things and just kind of going around the house and flirting with people. And she's just happy to be there. She's just happy to be there on the show. Don't get me wrong, everybody wants to win, but there's some people who want to win like winning is life or death. Like winning means something to them. Like I have to win. I'm really driven to get this number one spot. And there's other people on there that's more like winning would be cool, but it's not necessary. I'm just happy to get the opportunity to be on the show. And I think is really, and I think that she is like the win, but I'm okay if I just have a good time. So that's where I'm at with it. I haven't really seen too much more strategy game talk, but I know the power of veto ceremony is today at some point. I don't know if it's in the afternoon. I think it's sometime in the afternoon usually. So I don't know right now if Red is thinking of using it or not. But as of what I knew yesterday, Red was not planning to use the power of veto. And if he doesn't use the power of veto, all of Cerie's group is going to feel safe for the week, and it would just be a matter of figuring out if they still want to vote out Blue, which seems to be the plan still as of now. One correction that I want to make to something I said yesterday is that somebody in my comment section told me that the invincibility thing is indeed starting on Thursday, so I wasn't sure about that. Because when they put the commercial on yesterday and they said next week, Thursday, I thought that it was meaning next week as in next week, literally. So if that person is correct, that means the invincibility power that somebody could potentially get could be for this week. So with the invincibility power, to remind y'all, we vote for a top 4 people that we want to get this power. They have a competition, and then the winner of that competition gets the invincibility power, which allows them to bring back a house guest that was evicted in one of the next 2 weeks. So thank y'all for tuning in. I will be back if anything happens, breaking news, developments, you know how I do already. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I'll definitely be back when the power of veto ceremony is done and they give us the updated results. All right, y'all, let me know what you think of this America thing in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
So you literally were one of my very first followers, and then when you followed me and I followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. but yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on it.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian. I like this one.
Well, thank you.